As someone who lives and works in Melbourne, if you're craving a taste of Japan, a matcha hit, or a sweet treat, this one's for you. In the heart of Melbourne City's free tram zone, we are visiting the best Japan-inspired food, desserts, and matcha. Let's begin. Omi has ambitions to take over Melburnian stomachs and wallets with the power of baked goods, wagyu, and matcha. I mean, take my money already. There are sushi tacos, wagyu, and platters, which kind of look bigger in the photos. Their motto is Japanese done different, which means parsley on sushi. The menu is extensive and no shortage of onsen eggs. Second stomach activated, they have a large dessert selection too. We enjoyed sharing the dessert platter, but to be honest, it's more for people who enjoy their desserts chewy. Don't worry, sweet lovers, I can confirm their gelato is good. If you have any money left, their gifts and beautiful pastries will tempt you. We did give the pastries to someone who said, quote, "It was good, but I don't eat Lune every day. The cannelle was good, better warm, but sadly the croissant tasted like it had been sitting around for a while." Omi also has 2 other locations, but with a takeaway street food vibe. This matcha cafe has a hardcore test to prove you're worthy. Before you can even sniff a matcha latte, you have to conquer 2 flights of stairs. No elevator, no mercy. At the top is a Zen tea house, mills quietly grinding uji green tea leaves, which is hand whisked into matcha. The matcha was the best I've had, so fragrant it was like running into a tea bush, in a good way. When you see their desserts, you can think, oh, good thing I did that exercise. The space is Zen vibes and wooden seats. It's great for a peaceful aesthetic, but it's not the most comfortable place to sit for a long time. The hojicha chestnut tart was delicious, and the matcha cube was like a matcha lamington. Overall, a good experience, but gets noisy when crowded. We're venturing between the windy skyscrapers next to Southern Cross Station. This hidden, cozy cafe is a surprise oasis that's worth the trek. The cafe is in the Japanese vintage Taisho style. There's a cabinet of cakes, and they have a large drinks menu including special coffees and alcohol. Here's what I got. The cannelle had a nice caramelized shell and yummy gooey inside. I can confirm that the Basque cheesecake was creamy and very good, albeit a little expensive. I've had disappointing strawberry matchas, but this one with self-made strawberry puree was very good. They have a lunch and dinner menu, which I didn't try, but overall an enjoyable experience, and I'll be back for more. You must try this brunch cafe at Queen Victoria Market. It's a sunny fusion of modern Japanese and Australia, and a personal favorite. Their matcha lattes are top-notch, and today I'm trying their lavender matcha and katsu curry benedict. The poached egg is perfect, spam katsu delicious, and just a hint of curry in the benedict to give it some warmth. It also has sweet treats, so check out my Queen Victoria Market videos if you're keen. This hidden gem is in a Melbourne laneway. It's a cozy spot serving sandwiches, pastries, donuts, and drinks with a Filipino twist. I got a matcha latte, which was so drinkable, and the PR Reuben, a smoked brisket pastrami toast. Let's lift the lid on this perfect golden exterior. The brisket is thick and falling apart, and the sauce and sauerkraut perfectly balancing every bite. For dessert, I got the ube and creme brulee filled donuts. Both were fluffy, but the ube donut was the clear winner. The only downside is that they are still sorting out the ventilation inside, and you might end up smelling like fried bread, but the bench outside is the perfect place to chill out and watch laneway life. Nimbo is the definition of a hole-in-the-wall cafe, but what it lacks in size, it over-delivers with flavor. We had the brown butter cookie, just the perfect cookie with warm, crunchy, and gooey bits. I liked the matcha latte and matcha miso, but I do like my drinks a little bitter. The highlight was the bingsu shaved ice. We got the matcha apple crumble with oat milk tea snow. The soft snow, fresh fruit, crumble, ice cream, it was a beautiful balance in every bite. Located on the Paris end of Little Collins Street, Raya is a cafe with a Malaysian-inspired menu. The cafe is friendly and casual, more like a canteen where you seat yourself and order at the counter. Choose from jumbo cookies, beef rendang pie, Malaysian kueh, Japanese sando, or the cakes on display. We ordered their pink matcha latte. It looks like strawberry, but it's actually syrup bandung, an Indonesian rose syrup. Syrup bandung has a huge following in Southeast Asia, but personally, it's an acquired taste. I also got a coffee and tea latte, which really hit the spot. You must have their kaya toast and egg set. A drizzle of soy sauce and white pepper, and the eggs turn into the perfect dipping sauce. There was a generous layer of kaya or coconut jam and slabs of butter. I also got an egg salad and spam sandwich, but unfortunately my eyes were bigger than my stomach, but the sando was full of flavor. You might miss Kudo as it's literally just a door in a blank wall. Inside is a small artisanal cafe serving something rarer than unicorns, delicious gluten-free bread and pastries. I did get a shock from how expensive they are, even though they do look amazing. The big question, is it worth it? The mandarin shoe was amazing. I still think about it now. My favorite quenelle was the raspberry. I also tried ube, banana, and a plain one for comparison. I'm told that the tuna melt was also amazing. It was cheesy with bursts of pickle. Unfortunately, in winter, the front of the store has a wind tunnel effect and no heating. There's 2 or 3 seats inside, which is warmer. I got their gluten-free sourdough, and our reaction was, wow, so pretty. Not only was it the best bread I've had in a while, I still can't believe it's gluten-free. Tori's is down this narrow laneway. The place is peak Melbourne with the cobblestone laneway and warehouse. Inside, it's like you're in the perfect dream retro living room with vintage record players. That is, if your dream also has an army of chefs in the next room creating delicious desserts. Well, I know mine does. I got the strawberry matcha and the puree was delicious. The cheesecake was creamy and satisfying, and the quenelle is the biggest I've seen so far. It's definitely a comfortable place to sit down and meet with friends, but the place is always packed. And personally, I think that if you can't eat in, takeaway matcha is like a consolation prize. But I wouldn't go out of my way to get just a takeaway matcha. If possible, I'd recommend coming early on a weekday to guarantee a spot. We're at the most famous laneway in Melbourne, Centre Place. Most locals think of it as a tourist trap, but today we're at Mork Chocolate, which supplies the hot chocolate in the best Melbourne cafes. The cacao here is ethically sourced and made in Melbourne. Getting Mork is like if you want to please your inner child who has grown-up issues. So I got a hot chocolate, 85% dark, and a s'more. Outside in a cold winter air, I pretended it was Christmas in a magical Harry Potter laneway. Eating my melty s'more and sipping my hot chocolate, maybe it worked to heal me a little. Mork has a few outlets in the city and Victoria Market, but it's a more takeaway situation. They still do magical things with fire, smoke, and chocolate, so give it a go. Located 5 minutes walk from Queen Victoria Market, this place oozes cool local vibes. It's hidden in a laneway, old warehouse, coffee roasters, artisanal pastries, equitably sourced beans, and you get, woo, Melbourne bingo! Honestly though, they have one of the best coffees I've had. Drinkable, complex, and happy, whatever that means. And the pear tart. Wow, if you only have one, try this. After tasting their food, I considered moving into the neighborhood. Then I realized I'd be over-caffeinated, fat and broke. Well, more than normal anyway. The downside is that there's no indoor seating and only benches outside, so set your expectations accordingly. Hareruya Pantry is best known for its Japanese-inspired gelato. You can get it scooped, but why not get it wrapped in chewy mochi skin? I'd go back for the classic flavors of matcha and sesame, but the shirokuma was slightly icy. This place gives calm neighborhood store energy, where you wander in for a drink and accidentally stay for a bento. Their matcha and seasonal drinks hit the spot, and the bentos feel homely, like something lovingly packed by someone's mum, and honestly, better than your average Swanston Street chain. There's bench-style seating, and it might get busy at night, but the drinks and desserts make for excellent grab-and-go happiness. Nana's Melbourne is part of a Japanese cafe empire with over 80 outlets in Japan. Personally, I've never understood the conflicts in a parfait situation. Is it breakfast, dessert, both? They also have Japanese-style desserts and lots of matcha and hojicha drinks. The standard seems the same as Japan, but some might find it more middle of the road than mind-blowing. A hidden gem is their savory menu, and it's actually good. Like, I'd come here just for the lunch good, even after social media has moved to the next hot thing. The savory menu prices are reasonable, though portions are a little smaller than Australian sizes. But hey, that just means more room for dessert. Bloomwood is a city patisserie with a loyal local clientele keen for their caffeine and pastry fix. You can sit outside or head upstairs to a minimalist Japanese-style space. Their matcha latte is gentle and very drinkable. I tried their Bloom Tinny. Unfortunately, this was overbaked, so skip this. The Dubai chocolate flour looked also overcooked, but the crunchy bits and cream together made it yummy. When I visited, they didn't have any filled croissants, but I've heard they are a must-try. This matcha kiosk is located between Collins Street and Centre Lane. I got their most popular drink, the matcha misu, an iced matcha latte with sponge biscuit and foam, and it was really, really good. I've never been to BALIBOLA Cafe in Bali, but does it taste like a Bali holiday? Yes, it does. This Japan-inspired cafe is located on Swanston Street across the State Library. Outside of peak times, when you're shoulder to shoulder with Melburnians rushing to work or their next class, the cafe is a calm oasis in the middle of the city. They have some pastries and food, but the main draw is their matcha latte, which uses 7 grams of ceremonial matcha. It was really good, but it did get a little watery after the ice melted. The iced coffee was also well roasted and balanced. Overall, great drinks. Might be a little pricey, but then everything is nowadays. This cafe in Melbourne Central is the perfect place to catch up over brunch, lunch, or even just a drink, but I doubt you can resist their sweet treats. We started with a matcha latte, tuna corn cheese brioche, and a kimchi pork. They were so good. But the real stars were the strawberry shortcake and banoffee tart. Some magic happened because I blinked and the desserts vanished. Happy to return for another magic show. Moment Coffee is hidden next to Victoria University on Queen Street. Today our visit is to try their Chinese matcha. And how does it compare with Japanese matcha? It's a simple cafe with essentials like toasties and pastries. I got the Chinese matcha latte and yuzu cheesecake. The Chinese matcha was strong, almost like chewing green tea. The surprise standout was the yuzu cheesecake, creamy, slightly sour yuzu taste. Give this place a try if you're in the area. At Queen Victoria Market, this cafe is hidden in, yes, a laneway. You can't miss the LED signs and collectible toys. They are more known for their cakes, but their matcha menu is also impressive. The matcha is hand-whisked and then canned. You're meant to shake the can before opening, as it's hard to mix it with a straw afterwards. Luckily, the strawberry shortcake was delicious. I have mixed feelings about this cafe. The plastic folding chairs and the metal tables were shaky and cold. The matcha was too thick for me, or maybe I messed up the mixing. Worth a visit if you like pretty cakes. Calling Naau a cafe might be a bit of a stretch, not because of the food, but because the seating space is smaller than a broom closet. It got TikTok famous as the best matcha in Melbourne. I can confirm that their matcha latte is one of the better ones on the list, but I'd recommend takeaway only. This is the only cafe that might not be around when you visit. What a disappearing cafe! This was an 8-week pop-up, but the owners want to go on for longer. I got the banana ice matcha, which was off menu, and a mini croissant that was perfect for dipping into the foam. They have fun flavors on their menu like Yakult and are not afraid of literally stirring it up by using a blender to make matcha. With a clean matcha taste and experimental flavors, keep an eye on their Instagram for updates. This is a Melbourne laneway bakery, which is really no secret at all. You will see tourists lining down the street wanting to get the taste of real Melbourne. Once you get inside to order, you realize, hey, no seating. But locals tip, walk to the sky bridge between Melbourne Central and Emporium and have your feast there. So after all that, was it worth it? Yes, especially their blueberry Danish, which is crazy good, with flaky pastry, light custard, and fresh glazed blueberries. All the baked goods are of a good standard, but as a local, I'd have a few other places to go than to queue up here. But that blueberry Danish dough, Here's another local favorite, the city store for the famous Agathé Patisserie from South Melbourne Market. The croissants and pastries are rustic and buttery. It's takeaway only, and try to get there before lunchtime as pastries sell out quickly. Antara is known for fine dining, but Melbourne foodies know about the top-notch croissants. The place is often filled with business suits on weekdays, and some of their pastries are a little hit and miss. But if you're looking for a quiet place with a good croissant, seasonal pastries that have fine dining DNA, and excellent coffee, come here. Lune is number 1 on many people's list of places to eat in Melbourne. The city store is especially crowded with tourists with a chaotic energy. Personally, I always come when people are visiting Melbourne. Lune has good croissants and coffee. So it was really random that the one time I decide to cut open their croissant, I get a croissant with a huge hole in it. Normally, I just tear it apart with my hands, none the wiser. Which makes sense when in the past I've described it as like eating air. I've gone back since, but I don't think Lune is the gold standard, but you can decide for yourself. I hope that you've enjoyed the video. Please support the channel and subscribe. Here for your amusement is a fail video of Tori's entry door not letting me enter. Thanks for watching.